day, fans. J. Wellington Rommefeller and the Colonel roaring back into action after last month's elongated debacle. Colonel, would you care to explain precisely why we've been so delayed?
With pleasure. You see, I've taken it upon myself to rebuild a Spitfire Mark 14 plane, an absolutely gorgeous aircraft if you ask me. But during construction I realized that I was missing one of the in-mounted MGs, and naturally to acquire such equipment you must go through some less than desirable channels, we might say. One thing leads to another, and before I know it, I'm on the run, and that's when I had to contact you, Jay.
Yes, and since I happen to be in the area for more personal reasons than I care to get into, I whisked in and saved the Colonel from impending doom.
Well, no, I certainly did not. You arrived in a rusty Studebaker with a very unstealthy backfire.
Oh, put a sock in it, old boy. I love that car, I'll have you know. And we made it out of there unscathed, primarily due to my ingenious plan to hide out in a classic auto show.
We are very nearly given away with your incessant humility.
Portal 2...
and sobbing and...
Portal 2 was released earlier this year. You can see our full review on it here. Quite an enjoyable game, so why would we bring it up again? It seems Valve has done the gentlemanly thing and released a free DLC pack for it. So the Colonel and I fired up our copies and decided to dive back into the world of Aperture Science. One of the most innovative, entertaining co-op experiences we have ever had the pleasure of reviewing is back. With challenging puzzles and the same flashy Portal look and feel, this DLC really breathes life back into Valve's most recent title. It's great. Everyone should play it, and it's free, so nobody really has an excuse for not giving it a go.
So is that it?
Well, yes. I mean, we already did all of Portal 2, so there's not really much we can add, don't you agree? Do you have anything else to add?
Well, not particularly, but we still have around 4 minutes of video left.
Oh. Well... what would you like to talk about then?
What about all the games coming out for the next month? There's going to be so many coming that our figurative plates are going to be, well, quite full.
Farkin, old boy, why don't you get us started?
Assassin's Creed Revelations.
You know, I've actually heard complaints about people anticipating this game's release, mostly because of the fact that they want to be done with Ezio, done with Altair, and just move on with the overlaying storyline of Desmond and the Assassin's Guild. That I can understand, but the point that I think this game is trying to make is trying to tie in the remaining storyline of Ezio. You've had 2 games dedicated to him now. They need to finish it. They need to be able to tie off any loose ends, so that way when they continue into the 3rd full installment of Assassin's Creed, that's right, the 3rd one, not another spin-off sequel, then they'll be able to actually give the audience what they are wanting. They will give a historical context, they'll give us an imaginative storyline, and we don't have to worry about Ezio or Altair again. This is something I'm really looking forward to playing, and I cannot wait to get my hands and see what they do with the new weapon system.
Batman, Arkham City.
The sequel to definitively the best Batman game of all time has just been released. I'd rather not dive into too many details as my review is impending, but I can tell you that I am overly pleased with it. I was excited about the original, and I was more excited about the sequel, and let me tell you, it does not disappoint. Make sure to stick around after the credits, as any good gamer should. I believe you'll like what you see.
With the return of smooth controls, classic schemes, and unbelievably superb fight sequences, I have found that this game has been pretty much without fault. I can't put the bloody control down. In fact, I think I left off on the part with Mr. Freeze, but I only had to stop there because, well, a man's got to eat at some point after 3 days. I was hungry, that's all I can say. But I'm going to pick right up and I'm not going to stop till I am finished.
Sonic Generations.
I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've been burned by Sonic games recently. In my opinion, a worthwhile Sonic title hasn't come out since Sonic Adventure 2, and I am a rabid Sonic fan. Unfortunately, against my better judgment, I've decided to get excited about Sonic Generations. Now, I know you're saying that's a bad idea. However, I did get to play the game at Comic-Con. You can see that link here. And it is marvelous. Modern Sonic plays even smoother than he did in Sonic Adventure. And classic Sonic plays just like he did back in the original Sonic 1, 2, and 3. And I know what you're saying, Sonic 4 was supposed to be just like Sonic 1 and 2 and 3, and it wasn't. I completely agree with you. They have the speed, they have the feel down, everything about this game screams success, and I am very excited about its release.
Jay, are you sure they're not going to try and sneak in a human-animal kiss, or handguns, or racing, or werewolves, or fantasy swordplay like they've done in the past?
I have kept a bloody close eye on this game's development, and it seems the answer is no. Though, I must confess, I'm not sure my heart could take yet another Sonic disappointment. I mean, he's Sonic. He can really move. He's Sonic. He's got an attitude. He's Sonic. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive.
Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim.
Yes, I understand the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion wasn't the greatest game in the world. It had its flawed magic use system, it had a poor level up system, and it blew most of its budget on the voice actors with Patrick Stewart and Sean Bean, leaving maybe 3 or 4 other people for the entire races and the lizard people in the game. But the point is, that sandbox game still draws me in, and I still find myself wanting to play it from time to time. Not many other games do that. I absolutely adore Oblivion, and I always will. And I can't wait to see what they do with Skyrim, because from the massive scale, the incredible use of magic that they're going to have in this, which they completely redone from the other game, and the fact the level up system isn't based on previous choices, but on choices you make throughout the game.
Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception.
Nathan Drake is one of my favorite characters, and Uncharted is home to some of the most dramatic cinematics of all time, so you can imagine my excitement whenever I heard of a third game's release. This time our intrepid hero Drake is back, in some sort of exotic location, looking for, I don't know or care really, and accompanied by some fellows and some chaps, and I'm sure going up against some sort of bad guy with maybe an accent of some sort. It doesn't really matter. What I'm getting at here is that the game is going to be released, and I am sure that it is going to be fantastic. They've updated the multiplayer, they have updated the physics, and honestly, everything about the game looks better than the second one, which looked better than the first one, which looked better than most other games on the PlayStation 3 at the time. So you can imagine my excitement for this game's release.
Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword.
It's a bloody Zelda game. Of course it's going to be brilliant. What do you think? That someone's going to sit around and think, I've actually played most of the other Zelda titles, but this one's probably going to be boring, so I'm just going to skip it because surely they're not going to be consistent with the brilliancy of the puzzles or the overlying gameplay of this series. Anyone that thinks that is a bloody idiot, and I swear to God, if I hear anyone say that, I will take a gun ring and shove it right up!
I believe that about wraps up the games that the Colonel and I are excited about coming out this season. Oh, wait, except for our surprise. Care to fill them in, Colonel?
Obviously, our viewers are going to notice 2 very remarkable games are missing from this month's video, that being Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare 3. We decided that instead of doing just a mention of these games, that we were in fact going to do something quite special upon these games' releases.
Yes, we've decided to do a double dose of video review for these 2 games, partially because of our egregious slip-up last month, and partially because they are so similar. Both are modern shooters, both have heavy focus on multiplayer, and both are built on great engines. So, next month should be quite interesting. Look forward to it.
Imagine that! We've accomplished an idea without having to resort to throwing punches about it, and without having to make this a quick 1-minute video review!
Yes, quite. And we wax poetically about some of our favorite games. We should do this more often. Like on our podcast, link below.
Quite right! This has been J. Wellington Rommefeller and the Colonel, bidding you a good evening.
Of good gaming.
Sonic, he can relate.